Hello everyone, I am Bhumika. I am presently working as a legal intern under Lexis and Company, a law firm. I am from Reva University, Bangalore, pursuing BLLB Honours second year. So quickly let us start off today's topic for the discussion. And today's topic for the discussion is whether it is judicial activism or is it judicial adventurism. Okay, so let us begin today's topic. It is very interesting. Keep watching towards the end. You will come to know whether it is judicial activism or it is judicial adventurism. So to begin with, what is judicial activism? Judicial activism is such wherein judiciary will take up the role of social activist and it will make new rules wherein the rules are not there presently. Okay, so in this situation, judiciary will pressurize the other two organs of the government, that is executive and legislative part of the government, to do their work effectively if they are not have been done. Judiciary will do this practice, that is judicial activism, by the way of public interest litigation cases. So if any work is not done, that time the people will file public interest litigation and judiciary will take into notice that the other two organs are working properly or not. Okay, so this is judicial activism wherein it pressurizes the other two organs of the government to do their work efficiently according to the rules which is established by the law. Okay, so this is judicial activism. So to say that, we'll try to give a few examples to make it more interesting. So when does judicial activism actually happen? See, for example, when Supreme Court gave out Vishaka guidelines, so that is when one lady called as Babri Devi, she was working under government in Rajasthan and she was creating awareness in the minds of the people by giving her views against the child marriage, which was more prevalent in most parts of Rajasthan. Okay, so that time when she was going and giving these awareness programs against abolition of this child marriage system, she was a lower caste woman. When this upper caste people couldn't take up that why this lower caste woman is telling us not to do that, not to do this and such. So that time the upper caste men in Rajasthan, they gang raped this Babri Devi in full public view. Okay, and when matter went to the court, Supreme Court acquitted all the accused by giving few reasonable grounds, but one NGO took up this matter and it filed public interest litigation in Supreme Court and asked Supreme Court, this NGO name itself is Vishaka. Okay, so this NGO filed public interest litigation in Supreme Court and asked the Supreme Court that, dear Supreme Court, please list out the mechanism which are present for women who are working for their safety in the working place against this sexual harassment activities. Okay, so that time there was no legal mechanism as such. So that is when this judiciary took up this activist role and gave out detailed guidelines for the women who are there in workplace, that all the works employers need to follow this. Okay, so this was one such example wherein judiciary acted as a social activist and it practiced judicial activism. One more example is that we can cite that in Uttar Pradesh state, that time what happened, I think during Akhilesh Yadav's period, one Lokayukta member head of the Lokayukta had to be appointed there, but the files were moving from governor's table to the chief minister's table, but no action was taken. They were just delaying the process. That time what happened, judiciary came into the picture and then it took up one name from the file which was there and selected and appointed them as the Lokayukta of Uttar Pradesh state. So this is where, when the legislature branch of the government and the executive part of the government, when they do not work properly, where they do not do their work properly, that is wherein the judiciary will come into the picture and then act as an activist through these public interest litigation cases. Okay, so this is the whole idea of judicial activism. So now the other question which arises is whether judiciary is happy in doing this work. The answer is no, because judiciary is already having more crores and crores of cases before it pending. So the judiciary is not at all happy in doing this. Okay, So, but these are pressurized and forced cases through public interest litigation, which has been forced into the throat of judiciary, which has to be done. But is it constitutional? This judicial activism work of judiciary, whether is it constitutional or unconstitutional? Perhaps the answer is yes, it is constitutional, because under Article 142 of our Constitution, it says that judiciary can issue any orders to bring complete justice for the people of India. So perhaps yes, it is the duty of the judiciary to make any such orders to get complete justice, because justice denied is justice delayed itself, right? So Supreme Court can issue any orders. Okay, so this is constitutional. Now the next question which arises is, what is this judicial adventurism? Okay, I will give few example wherein Supreme Court in its various public interest litigation cases, it gave orders such as orders like how to prevent monkey menace, and then also it gave orders such as to prevent a selling of the liquor within 500 meters wherein the national highways are there. The reason why it gave is that to prevent the accidents which are happening due to drunken driving. Okay, so this was done, and there was drought issue. For that, what the Supreme Court said is that all the rivers need to be interconnected. Okay, and this was given. And then so when all these issues and orders were there, we will say that yes, these orders are constitutional itself. But the problem lies here, wherein giving out policies is the domain of executive branch of the government. So judiciary is not only playing an activist role, it is overreaching its power. There is a thin line gap between this judicial activism and judicial adventurism. And one more problem is that when judiciary is giving out these type of solutions, it is not thinking about the other effects as such. Like if they stop giving liquor in the bars and restaurants which are there near this national highways as such, what can be the economic impact of on that bars? That is not seen by the judiciary. It has given one-stop solution for it, which is not acceptable as such. And also it has said that the rivers need to be interconnected to prevent this situation of drought, where how can we interconnect all these rivers? All the engineers will shatter their minds. Okay, so that is not possible. So Supreme Court is giving these type of adventuristic ideas, so that we cannot decide whether it is judicial activism or judicial adventurism. Okay, so there is a thin line gap between this activism and adventurism. Okay, this adventurism is the result of judicial overreach. It is overreaching its powers. It is overreaching on the powers of executive branch and the legislative branch of the government. So we can conclude by saying that judiciary is doing its work more effectively, but the other two organs of the government also needs to join hands properly and effectively to bring out the system of government and administration successful in this state of called India. So we can say that it is actually a judicial activism itself, but wherein due to lack of guidance, or wherein the bureaucrats are not advising judiciary, so that it is turning out to be judicial overreach, and the result is judicial adventurism. So by this we'll end our discussion. We came to know that whether it is judicial activism and why it is turning out to be judicial adventurism. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you so much.